Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. It's the last lap, and I tell you, I'm excited this morning. I'm excited. So I'm going to do my raffle this morning. The senior prefect girl and the senior prefect boy. We're going to be choosing winners of the Bumper Breakfast senior prefect girl, senior girl gift right here, right now. And to do the honors, cognitive behavior therapist and broadcaster, and Money, Auntie Wemmy was right here in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is?
I'm still in the mood. It's still Santa mood.
I don't understand.
Yes.
Santa Claus, you did not visit. Santa Claus did not bring gift to me. How come you're wearing the feel of
levels? We have levels
of people they are giving gift to.
I'm still
I don't deserve gift.
in the season, so Santa Claus is still around.
Where is my gift? Santa Claus is around. Where is the gift Santa Claus brought? What is that? Can you do the honors of picking a winner?
No, not that kind of one.
It looks as if Auntie Wemmy is doing it.
Okay. Am I permitted to open?
Yes, please open.
Nelson Precious. Okeodo Unity Secondary School.
Okeodo Unity Secondary School. They say you are the first winner.
That's Nelson Precious.
Nelson Precious. You are the winner.
What's this?
Elvis. So the person who sent that message in, you know how to get Nelson Precious across to us on Friday, the 31st of December 2021. We'll be doing the presentation right here on the show. So Nelson Precious, Elvis of Okeodo Unity Senior Secondary School. Please come for the gift on the Bumper Breakfast this morning.
That's one.
Right? That's one. Don't jump together. Don't come together.
Okay. I decided to use my left hand because everybody in my house left-handed. Me, I'm the only one using right. So, Olatunji Ololade, Lagos State Civil Service Senior Model College, Igbogbo.
Oh, the Korodu people, you got a gift, oh.
Olatunji Ololade, Lagos State Civil Service Senior Model College.
This two person's name was not there. This person's name, enter. No, sorry. All right, and then let's do for the boys. For the boys, we got just 3 names. So for the boys, let's just see. There's just one for the boys. Please keep the names.
Yes.
So
the boys. You know I love boys.
I know you love boys.
I love boys. So,
okay.
Aworinde Akinyemi, Lagos State Civil Service.
The Igbobo people again.
The Igbobo's people.
Okay. Lagos State Civil Service Secondary School, Model College, Igbobo. Your senior by your senior
Akinyemi.
Excuse me. Are winning the gifts. So please bring them on Friday to the Bumper Breakfast to collect their gifts.
That's all.
That's all. So you can put the winners here. Thank you. So the winners, good to go. This morning we're reviewing the year and we're talking about cases of domestic violence in 2021.
We had lots of cases reported, the ones we read in the newspapers and the ones we saw online. I think this year we had it so, let me use the word, it was really violent.
Wow.
The cases we had this year have really been very violent. So we don't know what 2022 will look like in terms of domestic violence. However, we need to let people know that mental health is linked directly to domestic violence.
What about cases? What about the convictions? Did we have many of that this year?
Yeah, people were convicted, at least from the ones I saw on the news and from the ones I, got involved in, which I can't mention on air. And then, a lot of people were really, they were prosecuted, they were arrested, prosecuted, and they were convicted, actually.
This year?
Yeah, we have some who are still serving their jail term.
Okay.
As we speak, in different states. At least I can speak of Lagos and Ogun, which I am very much involved in. Then I see the ones we read on the newspaper.
Okay.
And then this year so far, we have had the cases of women turning down, the arrest. When they get to the point where, they are supposed to arrest, even when they have arrested the perpetrator who seem to be their husbands or whatever, they get to the point where you're about to prosecute and they change the story. They make it look like you can't cry more than the bereaved. So they change it. I don't want my children's father in jail. I don't want my I don't want to be the one tagged as the one who tarnished the name of the family. I don't, all sorts. And they begin to develop cold feet, and it looks like you are the one fighting for a cause that was never there.
That was never there in the first place.
Yes. So basically, that's just a summary. And then the area of child abuse.
Wow.
We've had cases of abuse this year, really. Toddlers being abused sexually, even physical maltreatment, and all of the people still maltreat children. This year so far.
Wow.
But like I said from the beginning, we could see that there is a case, there are cases of mental health issues attached to domestic violence. It's settled.
This year I was on radio, one of the shows I had on radio this year, and a man called in. I can remember that call like vividly, like it happened yesterday, because it's still very much traumatic for me. The man called in from Ikeja, and he said he knows of a little girl who is being abused because the mother confided in him, and he wanted me to speak to the mother to convince her to come out. And he said he was going to convince her to call me. And he described it was a 4-year-old child. He described such a very gory, picture. And he said he was going to prevail on the mother to call. The woman called that day. And then I said, okay, I'll give her a call the next morning. She said, no, that I can't call where she is, that she has to be the one to call. And the next day we waited.
She wouldn't call you.
She never called back.
Yeah.
We tried the number.
She wouldn't call back.
So it just brings me to the issue of women getting to the point of deliverance. And this, you see, I wouldn't have been pained so much if she was the abused in this matter. She's an adult.
It's a minor.
It's a minor. It's a 4-year-old. And the man, I was not reaching the man back, like, the man said he can't even find her again. It's as if she just ran away or something. Why do they cover up cases like this? Is it that the government didn't do? Because I know that the Lagos State government has been announcing and doing so much, to get people to come out and voice out their truth.
Well, from my experience so far, I have seen that apart from fear and insecurity, I think the parent of the abused, also is still a victim. I can't call them survivor. Yeah, they never got help. They were also abused. So the trauma is still in them, because I'm working with them so far this year. And then when you get to the point, because I have a legal advisor I work with, you get to the point where the legal angle needs to take place. Then when it's time for me to step in, then I discover that empathy, showing them empathy, brings up a lot from them. They break down and tell you it's not as if I'm just afraid. It's the same thing that was done to me. So I will now end up focusing on the individual much more than
the little child.
Even the little child. So what we say is, most times the family members or the direct parent of the abused needs help too. So I think in the bid to take it legal, prosecute and all of that, let's also focus on giving help, reassuring them, take them through the path where they were coming from, and throw the reality back at them. Look at the condition of the traumatic experience you are having, if you do not allow us to do the proper thing, your child may likely, repeat the same thing in a double fold. So we need to paint the picture of the trauma that they may be exposing the minor to if you don't allow the law to take its course. If you try to protect, the perpetrator as against the abused. Because I've come to understand, some of them will break down and they tell you, apart from the pain, of the situation, they also are pained because this was done to them. Then you discover that you are dealing with, past PTSD, let me put it, post-traumatic stress disorder. And then it's now repeating itself in them. And then what we need to make them understand is we don't break it now. It will become a generational abuse because it's a chain. It's a chain. It will keep going and going and going. So we need to just work on them. Let me work on their psyche, pamper their emotion. When you're too hard on them, then they develop cold feet and make it look like, after all, let me just remain where I am. Don't help me further.
Don't help me further. Like, stay away, keep your help to yourself.
Yes. At times you make them understand that under the law, you are an accomplice. They still will not. Because there's something within that is tied to the past that is not making the individual see the consequences of their action by being empathetic towards the perpetrator as against helping the minor who is a child who has been violated. So it goes more than the surface of you are not wise, you are protecting the perpetrator. There are more issues to it, much more than what you see on the surface. Yes.
You're saying that the psychological effect of these things, delayed justice as well. Does it give?
That's another issue.
Does it give? You are the therapist here. Does it also affect the psyche?
It does. It does. In fact, the truth is, because the case is huge. Because I think Lagos has lots of cases.
Okay.
Handling. And you cannot prosecute without thorough investigations. So the process of investigating, the process of doing this and this and this seem like the matter is being delayed.
Yes.
Ogun State too is coming up because those are the two major states I deal with at the moment. However, what we say is there are some measures you take that we call it pacifier. That pacifies the victim, as it were. Permit me to use the word.
The victim.
Okay. That pacifies them that there is hope in view. It may take 1 month, might take 2 months, but at least let the arrest be done. Okay. When the arrest is done, let the victim, as it were, be communicated to that these and these are the things we have done. All right. But don't forget that the families or the friends of the perpetrator too will not sleep. They also will be pressing buttons up and about.
Down.
So you have to bear that in mind and not slack.
As a matter of fact.
Yes.
And not slack.
Yes.
Such a way that the person that you want to prosecute will end up escaping justice. All right, we're talking about cases of domestic violence and all forms of abuse in 2021, and we're reviewing the year. Going into 2022, let's begin with the government. What would you like them to do differently? Let's talk about Ogun State. I know Lagos is doing quite a lot, but you're more familiar with the system in Ogun State as well. So what would you like Ogun State government to do differently in 2022?
Ogun and Lagos seem to be coming together. Okay, we're beginning to have common laws regarding domestic violence at all levels. So I say teaming up for real will work, and then immediate response will be fine. That's true. Then 3, there is a place of teaming up with people at community level, because we have more grassroots people in Ogun State than you have in Lagos. So we go team up with those people. And if there could be incentives too Because when people
like a whistleblower incentive,
in the rural level know that I have something to gain, no matter how little, then they won't let this matter slide. Because I remember one of the cases we handled, all right, the police, I'm talking about Ogun State. I won't mention what part of Ogun State.
Okay.
The police went in search, everything and down and everything. We couldn't find the guy.
Wow.
The guy got wind that he was being, they were coming for him and everything. What if I let you know it was the vigilantes that we worked with at our foundation that helped us fish him out? So it tells me that there are some things that the government at the executive level may not be able to do alone until you team up with even the vigilantes and people at the grassroots, because they know them very well.
We've been talking about cases of domestic violence, and I tried to get Auntie Wemi back again on the Bumper Breakfast on Friday so we can do much more of reviewing the year. All right, it's the Bumper Breakfast, and that's where we call it a wrap. Auntie Wemi, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We will go, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning, bright and early. Don't forget, stay safe. COVID-19 is still very much here. Go get vaccinated now. Have a beautiful day.